Okay, folks, this is for documentary purposes. I am not a certified vet or a doctor for human people, but I have been doing this procedure with super glue to seal up wounds on me personally for 15 years, 20 years. Also to my dog and other things, and friends have used super glue to seal up gashes and cuts that have a hard time sealing because it's on a flexible part of your body, and it'll go months and months and months and it won't heal because the skin can't bond together. Also just to tell you, do your research. Don't complain to me or threaten me or give me hate. This is just something that I do personally. If you don't like it, don't watch. Like I said, I've been doing this for many, many, many years, and I have tested it out on myself, and it has worked always well. Just a short story, my dog got into, or through the fence, I had a wire fence, and my dog and a neighbor moved in. The dog was very, very vicious, very, very mean dog to other animals and to humans. And my dog stuck his muzzle through the screen, and that dog grabbed my dog and bit a hole through his muzzle to his teeth. And I had to repair that, and so my go-to was super glue. And this was probably 7 years ago, and it worked well enough to, for me to keep using it. Then my dog jumped the fence somehow and got into the yard. And with that mean dog, and that dog bit my dog in the groin and the belly and pierced holes through his pee-pee and through his stomach and was bleeding pretty bad. And so I have some things here in my house to stop the bleeding that, is not the norm. And I stopped the bleeding, thank goodness. And I sealed up all the holes with super glue. And my dog is now like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, 12, 13, 14. It's hard to keep track. I bought him as a pound dog, a kennel dog, a rescue. So we're going to, reptile skin is not like human skin. It's much more harder and scaly. And so there's not a good way to seal up reptile skin, and I did a little research just to make sure. Obviously I'm not just jumping into something and trying to put my reptile in harm's way, but then they microchip these tegus and different lizards and monitors. They have a hard time sealing the wound, the little slit that they cut to insert the chip, and the chip has the possibility to fall out. And so what they do, I read just recently that they use super glue to seal up that wound and to keep that chip from falling out. And then the animal's body over time will seal up permanently, and the super glue wears off. So the goal here, let me just tell you, Sassy's a sweet girl. You just don't want to pour in super glue into a wound. You have a cut right here, like that's on the back of her tail. It's not going to heal, and the longer it doesn't heal, the more time there is for infection to get in over time, and cause problems. You want to seal that up and put a barrier on it. So that's what the super glue is going to do for a week, and then over time, friction and rubbing into things, and just over time, the super glue will come off. But again, you don't want to pour the super glue down into the wound. You want to put it up on top and then join together. So the intent is not to just inundate this area with super glue and force feed it into the body. You're not doing that. You're just trying to keep it on the exterior, and just a little bit, just enough to force the two pieces together, and then that's what we're trying to do. So let me cut this bandage off. As you can see, overnight it leaked a little bit, and I had to put tape on here to keep the bandage from coming off. Sassy walked around and took her bandage off. So let's move on here, and I'm going to put a little part of this towel. Her nails are really, really sharp, so I'm going to put this towel portion on her head, and this is going to keep her from wanting to walk around. This was just duct tape, expensive duct tape actually, or gaffer's tape, to keep this from falling off her tail. And it actually sticks pretty good to her skin. You want to avoid sticking something to the wound. Let's pull this tape off gingerly. Hopefully my camera is capturing all this because it's hard for me to see my camera on my head upside down. Okay, let's get this off. The slit is right here. You can see it's a good little slit all the way down from her side to right here, and it is opened up. And this is a fat, very fat portion of her tail, fatty, like if you cut into your thigh, which I've done with a razor blade doing model building and cutting tape. I sliced about a 2-inch deep gash into my thigh right here, whatever part of this part of my upper leg is. I had the tape across there, and I was sticking it to my leg and cutting it when I was probably 12 years old, and I went too deep and it went right into my leg and sliced me open. It was all, when I cut down into it, it was all white, and the blood didn't immediately start flowing out. You could see the little pores of the blood. Okay, that's enough. I won't gross you out. But so we're going to clean this first of all. I'm going to use some alcohol, and I'm not going to pour the alcohol in there because that would be painful for her. And I'm not trying to make this painful for her. So we're going to just use this. Just put it on there. Because I have antibiotic cream all over this, so it's coated in antibiotic cream. So we're just going to clean this one more time, not pour the alcohol in there. Some may get in there, but we're going to try to make it less painful. Obviously she's getting a little uncomfortable, so maybe some is getting in there. But I'm going to hold Sassy's head. She's such a good tegu that I can hold her by her head. Another tegu or a monitor or a big lizard may reach out and bite your fingers if you did this. But Sassy is really, really good. So we're just going to clean this. You can see on the little cloth right here, there's a little bit of blood, but we're going to clean this. Isopropyl alcohol is good for cleaning the area. Mac's mouth got right in here as he latched onto her. And again, I just guess Mac, just like, human people, human wives, man and wife, just sometimes they don't want to be around each other, or one explodes at the other and, comes in, and one doesn't want to chat about it, but they get in an argument. Obviously, we don't want, people to hit each other or damage each other, but an animal, just like Mac and Sassy, they just have a mouth. So I'm going to just make sure again that this is clean. So we're going to make her stop from wanting to walk around. Okay, so I think it's clean enough. So here's the little super glue. You're going to hold it shut. Hopefully this is in the view. It's sealed up a little bit because it was much longer and much more jagged from Mac's bite. Again, his bite mark is all right here, and it went deep, and then his mouth comes around right here. He really had a hold of her. So we're going to take the super glue. I just cut it open, so hopefully it hadn't dried already. And we're going to, if it was wide open, you don't want to pour the super glue in there and have it go directly into the body. Again, that's not the point. We're not trying to force feed this in there. We're just trying to get the super glue on the surface and then glue the edges together. So we're going to hold it together. get it coming out. It's a gel. And you don't really want to get this on your fingers because it will stick your fingers together. I mean, you can put a little bit of cloth on there. It's not going to hurt it. And you're going to force this together. And you can blow on it to help it dry quicker. Again, you want to force or put the two edges together, even overlap them if you can. And you're going to want to hold this for about maybe a couple of minutes. Blow on it, have some airflow, and what you're doing, hopefully this is informative to people. Hopefully you don't have to do this in the first place, but what you're doing is you're going to help this to heal faster, and you're also going to create less of an opportunity for a big gap and to show a scar. So you're, just like stitches, you're holding the skin together so they can mend up and come together and form and look more natural. If you ever see a lizard that's in the wild and it's had a big gash or a big cut put in it, the scar looks terrible when it heals. It really looks grotesque, because they didn't have someone looking after them to stitch them up or use skin adhesive or super glue. There is medical grade super glue. This has been used for years and years and years. It's been used in war times to patch people up and from big cuts and gashes and wounds. So this is nothing, absolutely nothing that's unusual. Again, you just don't want to pour it inside their body. You just want to use it on, try to keep it on the exterior part of their body and join the skin together. So very, very practical means of doing this. And then even some, people believe online that this is why super glue was developed. It wasn't developed specifically for that or designed specifically for that, but it was, once they had it out, they saw the usefulness of this for skin, putting skin back together, bonding skin. If you put it on your finger and you touch your finger and hold it for a minute, your skin will be bonded and you will not be able to pull your fingers apart. So that's perfect for what it is. So we're just going to keep holding Sassy here because I don't want her to break this loose. This is a gel, so it's going to be maybe a little longer for it to dry. Just going to use a little alcohol pad to smudge it. She's wanting to walk around now. But now look, it's sealed up, and the residue that's on the surface will turn hard, and just like I've had it on my skin for cuts, you get a real fine paper cut or cracks in the side of your nails or real fine cuts on your fingertips that take forever to heal. You can use the super glue and it helps that to heal faster so it's not as painful. Those are very painful on my hands when I get those. And then you have a little crusty residue on there for a few days to a week, but over time it comes off. Or you can scratch it off, but then you have the risk, the opportunity of opening up the scratch or the little cut again. So it's just a fine game of trial and error. And like I said, I've been doing this for many, many years. Sassy's tail has not shed from her last shed, so this is why this is a little bit different color and a little bit different texture than this portion. She does need to shed her skin, old skin on her tail, but maybe that will come off on a second shed. I've been keeping her really moist and trying to get this off, but it's just, I guess, not time for it to come off. But you could see that it's a little swollen from Mac's bite. Mac is a very, very powerful male, and he's got a very, very bad bite. If he bites you and his intentions are to to bite down, he's going to bite down. So it's a little swollen in this area, but it looks much better now. Again, I just want to hold her here maybe for a couple of minutes and keep the tail at an angle where this is going to dry and keep the pieces together. So I think this came out really well. You don't want to use excessive super glue. And again, it's not the point of just coating this area in super glue. Minimal is better, because this is not a $250 surgical, medical grade emergency room super glue. This is just super glue that I got at a local store, and just that's the way it is. But now that should stay sealed together and it'll heal, and then it'll be much less of a scar in the future. All right, hopefully you found this helpful and informative. I think this went well. Just want to make sure this is dry, and then we'll put her back in her hide and she will go to sleep and hopefully not move around and risk reopening that wound right there. Thanks for viewing. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.